Here at 6:30, I'm Tom Lally. As thousands fill into Waterfront Park for the 2023 Thunder over Louisville, we want to get right out to our Connor Steffen with photojournalist Elijah McKenzie. Connor, how's the crowd out there?
Well, Tom, we are all excited here for Thunder. I do have to admit, lunch got a bit bumpy for us, though. I was hungry, so I got a cheesesteak and lemonade. Tom, it was $55. My jaw dropped. I still ate it. It was still all in all pretty good sandwich. Of course, I also want to address, I do look a bit like Paddington the Bear. That's because I wasn't expecting it to be so cold outside, so someone brought me a jacket. However, not even the cold weather could stop thousands from enjoying the waterfront today for Thunder, the kickoff to the Derby season here in Kentuckiana. Thousands of eyes were glued to the sky as jets dazzled the waterfront crowd.
I love air shows. I bleed Air Force Blue. My dad did 29 combat missions over Korea. My brother was in for 30 years.
What is your favorite part about the air shows?
The fighter planes. I had a brother who was an F-15 pilot, so kind of like seeing it.
From the Great Lawn to plenty of fair games and rides.
Our hands have been full. We're trying to have a good time and trying to keep tabs on everybody.
Biggest kickoff for the greatest 2 minutes of sports. Big Thunderworks fire display. Great stuff for family time.
One thing was clear, Thunder is about family.
They loved it. They went down that big slide, had a good time. They were a little afraid, but fought their fears and came down.
Some traveled thousands of miles to be here today.
Currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I got in at 6 a.m. this morning.
It was a lot of negativity down in Chicago, so I felt like just coming down here and seeing that positive vibe and to experience Kentucky.
And after the weeks of pain and heartbreak, a time for celebration.
I think that the unfortunate tragedies impacted a lot of people, but I think to be able to just hang out with people that you care about, friends, family, and enjoy some good air shows and fireworks, I think that'll bring a lot of happiness to people's lives right now.
And I can go ahead and tell you guys, there is a lot of happiness, a lot of togetherness here today at Thunder, and there's still time to come and be part of the love here in Louisville today. I can tell you that if you bring a Pegasus pin, you do have free access here on the waterfront lawn, and the fireworks show, one of the biggest in the nation, will start here around 9:30, so we'll be here, we'll be covering that. I can't wait to see the fireworks myself, so we'll be able to talk to some more people here. There's quite a few. It's really just take your pick of who you want to talk to, but we'll see you guys later here at 11. For now, live at Thunder over Louisville, Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side.
Thank you, Connor. And well, Connor may not have prepared for the weather today. The planners and those who do the heavy lifting for Thunder start early and stay late. Wayne Hettinger is the original, the Thunder producer who created the soundtrack and the moving parts since day one. He's still heading up the massive event with his trademark energy, and his goal is to keep it fresh every year.
It's like you worrying about how am I going to top last Christmas, so you just do. But I stay very active with what's new in the industry, new thoughts, and if I come up with something that's really right, pull the guys in together and say, okay, how can we do this?
He also noted planning for next year's Thunder has already started, and Wayne started his media career here at WHAS-TV in the 1970s. And remember to leave your tents, pets, and grills at home tonight. They are not allowed. Also, you cannot tape or rope off any large areas to reserve spots, but you're going to need this: blankets and tarps and lawn chairs. They are all allowed tonight. The Louisville police officer who shot and killed Breonna Taylor in 2020 is back in law enforcement. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office confirming to us tonight they've hired Miles Cosgrove. Cosgrove was fired from LMPD in January of 2021 for violation of use of force procedures and failing to use a body camera during the raid at Breonna Taylor's apartment. Cosgrove was one of the 3 officers who fired their weapons during the raid. Cosgrove fired his 16 times. Despite his termination, Cosgrove has not faced any criminal charges related to the killing. Carroll County's Chief Deputy Robert Miller pointed to this fact in reference to Cosgrove's hiring.
We looked at the fact that the U.S. Attorney General has stated there was no evidence that he had any involvement in the preparation of the search, and the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council determined not to initiate a hearing to revoke his police certification.
A protest in Carroll County has already been planned for Monday in response to his hiring. A federal grand jury has indicted an Evansville woman for federal hate crime after police say she stabbed an Indiana University student in the head. Police say Billy Davis allegedly stabbed an 18-year-old woman of Chinese descent in the head multiple times earlier this year. The assault happened on January 11th when a bus in Bloomington, Indiana was stopped at an intersection. The victim told police she was waiting for the doors of the bus to open when Davis hit her. The federal charges claim the attack was motivated by the victim's race and national origin and alleges the offense included an attempt to kill the victim.
There are people in the church, and there's 3 of them in the parking lot just standing there talking, and then there's a guy that just noticed the smoke that went around the corner, so I think maybe it's been on fire and they didn't really notice it.
For the first time today, we are now hearing the 911 calls alerting officials to a massive fire at a church in Shepherdsville earlier this week. It was last weekend during Sunday service. Full Gospel Church is now working to rebuild and pick up the pieces. Tom Wolford, pastor for the last 31 years, says the cleanup and repair will cost tens of thousands of dollars. Seemingly nothing untouched, with walls and floors showing scars of the fire or the water they had to use to put it out. If the fire didn't burn it, the water saturated it. Dozens of Bibles and psalm books now ruined. However, the Wolford says he's ready for the challenge of rebuilding and still feels blessed.
I knew no matter what happened that everything was going to be all right. Buildings can be replaced, but people can't.
And if you'd like to help Full Gospel Christian Center rebuild, they ask you to send your donations to the First Harrison Bank and make it payable to the church.